There we go. Wherever you go, wherever you're at. Anybody back online yet? Good morning again. Sorry about that. I'll give it a few more minutes before we get back on. Really noticeable how many more planes there are today. Okay, I can see quite a few more of you getting back on now. I'll wait a few minutes. Hi, Quentin. Nice to see you again. Sorry about that. Slightly ropey signal for a second. Lost the connection. I'll wait a few minutes. We had about 30 people that I could see, 30 people. I'm not sure how many you could see were watching at the same time. So let's just give them a chance to reload. Hi, Gene. Sorry about that. Connection went there. Hi, Michael. Hi, Ian. Nice to see you both back. Slightly ropey connection there. Okay, I'll give it one more minute. Because like I said, I had about 30 people that I could see that were watching. So hopefully they'll get back online in a second. Have a couple of shots, then we'll go again. Hello, Ian. Sorry about that. Ropey connection. Okay, so I think I'd gotten to talk about the length of the swing. And we see there Mickelson, who's always had a long swing. Hi, Lorna. Always had a long swing to create all that power. So like I said, there's lots of different ways of generating power in the swing. And then here's Angel Cabrera. Hi, George. Sorry again. It's a dodgy connection there. I'm just recovering some of those pictures that I had up earlier. The left arm bend there. Now, interestingly here, this is Calvin Peete. Now look at that bend in the left arm. Now Calvin Peete was, let me just read it here, a Ryder Cup player in the 1980s. He had the lowest scoring average on the US PGA Tour in 1984. So the best player in the world, effectively, for the longest period of time. And he was the straightest driver on the American PGA Tour for 10 straight years. Now, what happened was to Calvin Peete, fantastic player back in the day, is he fell out of a tree when he was young, and he broke his left arm, and it wasn't set properly. And so he played permanently with quite a withered upper arm, and certainly that bend was his natural bend. So that's a limit of how straight his arm could get. So the bend in the left arm is a big, big key for generating power in your swing. Just to recap, narrower stance increases mobility. A softer hand on the handle, softer hold on the handle, increases the length of the swing and the speed at which the club head moves. A little bit of bend here gets you all the way around. And what I do if I was you is your rehearsal swings before you play is take a couple of clubs, if you can, and just sort of drop them over your shoulder. I watched Nicklaus doing this back in 1988. He only 2 years previously won the Masters, so he's still a top player of the day. And he was swinging the club and just letting it hang over his shoulder here and then swinging through. So as he's swinging, he bends his arms like this to create softness in the swing. And I recommend you do the same thing. Lengthen the swing as much as you can, because it's very easy to get stiff and tight when you want to hit the ball a long way, but of course power doesn't come from there. So, next thing I want to talk about is how the club meets the ball. And loft is your best friend when you're trying to create some more power in a quirky way. The loft on my 9-iron here is about 40 degrees. If I tilt the club forwards, I lose distance, but I gain distance because I've actually taken that 9-iron and turned it into like a 7-iron. Also, if I close the face, it naturally lowers the amount of loft on it. And that's why I keep saying to you, and David Bouch especially, is to aim to the right of target, close the face, and that when you swing, if you get that ball struck with a closing face, you optimize the distance. Now, when I work on TrackMan on my computer indoors, I am trying all the time to get people's club face. Hi, Douglas. Yeah, sorry about that. The connection went. I'm trying to get people to close or square the club face all the time. Now, if you do that, let me get a ball, 1 second. If you do strike a golf ball with a closed face, that naturally points the club a little bit left of target. Now, if you then aim to the right of target to allow for that, you play a ball which bends aggressively to the left. And this is a great way of optimizing distance. So when you're looking for power sources in the swing, we know where they are: narrower stance, increased range of motion, bend in the arms, softer hands. But when it comes to the strike of the ball, we have to do everything we can to close the face. Now, the first way of doing that is to take your glove hand, and if I set my glove hand on the side of the handle here, that isn't really my natural hanging position of my hands. When I stand, my hands don't naturally face palms to the side of the body here. They point in slightly. And so if I do have my glove hand on the side of the handle, and my palm returns back to a more natural position during the swing, that opens the face, it weakens the face, and of course we say hello to a slice. And that's a massive way of losing power. So the glove hand should sit more on top of the handle here. Now the hand doesn't work in isolation. It comes over with the forearm, the elbow, and the left shoulder. Now as I do those movements down the left side, the right side compensates slightly. So a position for all the players to get into when they're trying to hook the ball is the glove hand comes over. That has the effect of de-lofting the face, increasing power. So I then need to soften my right side a little bit. And what does that do? This also helps because my right side's a bit softer now. It gets out of the way better. So I'm trying to loosen my swing all the time to create power. And I'm trying to loosen your swing all the time to create power when I'm coaching senior golfers. So the left hand comes around, the right side now gets a bit softer, and that encourages a longer backswing up here. So, you've also got to build up your golf strength a little bit. And when you do your warm-ups before you play, a great exercise is to turn the club upside down, get it to rotate a little bit, and the exercise of swishing is really quite revealing actually, because if you listen to the swish here, you can just hear, I'll do it into the wind a bit. You should hear that swishing action. As I do that, the lighter and softer my left side is, my wrist, one lever, my elbow, second lever, and my shoulder, the big one, the third lever, they all work loosely to create that swish. And again, it's a fantastic exercise for you. And what I've done with it, I've retooled my game. I'm hitting the ball much better now than I did 10 years ago. And I've retooled my coaching. So I obsess a bit more about distance now. I'm sort of really into it. I work with a long driving coach in North London who coaches the world's longest hitters of the ball. And I sort of pick his brains all the time. Now, let's go back to the Watson pictures here. And really start to look at the difference in his swing shape there. It all looks softer and less angular, even if it's described as being less athletic than Bulbush. What he's doing there is trying to generate speed differently to how he did when he was 20 or 30 years of age. And again, to give you another example of how athletic, fit, and strong the tour pros are, I've never been able to do this, but I've tried to demonstrate it all my life. Ernie Els takes his left arm, he points it vertically at the swing while still looking at the ground. I can do that part without keeping my left arm straight and vertical, but I can't look at the ground when I'm doing it. So it shows how much energy, strength and power these guys have when they're young. And they all recognize they lose it. Now, Dai Llewellyn, one of the coaches of the On Course Foundation, still teaches very, very good players. And as they're getting fitter and stronger, they're getting more injuries. And so lots of the pros now shorten their schedule, play fewer events, because what they're looking to do is stay injury-free, spend a lot of time in the gym. But what we know is the fitter these guys are, the more finely tuned they are, and the more likely they are to get some form of injury. Now, what Dai says is that when most of these pros turn 40, that's when they start to lose quite a bit of strength. And their hinterland really is when they get sort of 46, 47, where they're just a bit too old for the tour, the main tour, and a bit too young for the seniors tour. Now, back in about 10 years ago, I was flicking through the internet and I looked up Paul Broadhurst, who was a Ryder Cup player. And he was quite well known in my area because he lived in the Midlands, but he also won the Lytham Trophy back when we were kids. So like I say, he's a well-known player. Played in the Ryder Cup. And anyway, he was doing some coaching, so I got in contact with him. He came to Roehampton to give me an 18-hole playing lesson. And he was 47, 48, still very fit. And he said, I can't wait to get on the seniors tour. He then turned pro onto the seniors tour at 50 and won 2 major championships on the seniors tour. And he won more money in those 2 years than he did in his entire career. Now, what Paul did, very interestingly, was he kept himself very fit, very supple, and he never stopped moving. So he had a very narrow stance. And when he set himself up, he would wriggle around all the time. And his swing and his game was built on fluidity. So there's a player who's had a very, very long career by keeping flexibility in his swing. Now, as we get older, we have to work harder to keep that. You look at another pro here. Look at John Daly there. Look at the bend in his left arm. A lot of softness there in that left arm. Now, I know he's heavy there, but again, what a supreme athlete he is for his sport. So, we then need to talk about your equipment. Your golf ball's key. If you're looking for extra power, you should have a very, very hard ball. And the reason for that is when you strike a ball, the hard ball jumps off the face. Now, the other thing about a hard ball, it will have much less backspin on it. Every ball we strike has some form of backspin. So if the ball is hard, It jumps off the face with less backspin. It's pushing forwards all the time. The benefit of that, we can add a little bit of loft because we don't have so much spin and get the ball to launch up and over. It also rolls a lot further on the ground. Now, what you lose with a hard ball, though, is you lose a bit of touch and control around the green. So you, as a golfer, have to balance off what you're looking for. Now, if you have a swing where you feel like you hit the ball a long way, but you're not controlling it around the greens, then definitely soften the ball. We then also look at your shaft, the club. We want that club to be flexible as well. So as you lose flexibility, one loses flexibility as you age, then we want the club shaft to be a little bit livelier. Now, what I do know is that when I give lessons to my lady members, and I pick up their clubs, I hit a shot with them, whilst the shaft feels whippy, it feels a lot of life in it as well, lots of power. So lady golfers, their clubs are significantly lighter than men golfers anyway, but it's the shaft where the big key is. The head might be 10% lighter for a lady, but the shaft is significantly lighter. So, back to Michael right now, Michael wrote to me a couple of weeks ago talking about the length of his follow-through. Now, everything I've talked about so far today in the swing is about generating power on the backswing. We set ourselves up with a glove hand over to create a hooking club face. As we do that, we need to aim for the right of target to allow for a ball that's going to bend left of where we're aiming. Remember, in golf, we're trying to get the ball on target. We're not trying to hit it straight. So we have to aim and position ourselves to get the ball to finish on target. And to increase distance, the best way of doing that is to aim to the right with a closing club face where the ball bends over to the left. The other advantage of the stance being narrow is if I'm aiming right and I sort of withdraw this right foot a little bit, all of a sudden I've created room to create a backswing. So everything I'm talking to you about is about setting up and creating a backswing which has more power. I'm less fussed about the follow through. And the reason being, I want all the hit to take place towards the ball. I'm not fussed about having a big wraparound finish. If you get it, it's a massive bonus, but it isn't something which you need to obsess about when you're trying to work quirkily to generate power in your swing. Yeah, sorry, Helen. Sorry, Jean. Is that better now? That wind's just died down a little bit. I'm not even sure where the microphone is on this thing. To be honest, on my computer. So as I'm setting up here, I withdraw that right foot, pull it back a little bit. That creates the space on the backswing. If I create that space and swing softly, there's plenty of power in that motion there. So if I swing softly now, pull my right foot back, that increases the range, get myself into an overswing here. There's plenty of power there, and I didn't fuss overly about the follow-through. Pull the foot back, that increases my range here. I've set myself up for a hook. I know the ball's going left. Create the space on the way back. Soft at the top. And that gives me that lovely crack at the bottom of the ball. Now, when I do the exercise, thanks, Gene, where I'm whipping like this, again, I'm just allowing the body just to turn. I'm not trying to put force into that swing. If I was teaching a very strong, fit, athletic sort of 20-year-old, I would talk very differently about the swing because their power sources are going to be used from their body. What we're trying to do is get your body just to move out of the way to create some space for the hands and arms to swing into. Alrighty, so I've covered an awful lot of topics there today. Do you have any questions about what we've talked about? So what I've given you there really is an insight into how the tour professionals change their swings over the years. The fact that the bent left arm is a massive key. I keep talking about that, but we have to position the body to allow that to happen. We then also position the body to make a ball bend to the left. One of the biggest sappers of distance, as you lose power, is a ball bending to the right, any form of slice on the ball, or in your case, Mr. Chapman, a ball going the opposite way. So what we're looking for all the time is how we can get the body to work in a manner which creates speed in the club head, not necessarily energy and aggression from the body. So I'll just wait a sec and see if you've got any questions. I'm very sorry about the connection today. I'm not sure what happened there or why it's done. That's not done that before. Are there any questions about how to create more power, more energy, how the swing's changed over the years. How can I get how can I get a 20-year-old body? Very good, Mel. Could I briefly sum up? Yeah, no problem at all, Martin. Good morning to you. Everything's about getting the square smack at the back of the ball, and we're trying to move the club head with some speed. Hi, Edgy. Nice to see you. What we do with the body is aim to the right of target by withdrawing the right foot slightly, and that already increases the amount of body turn I have, and therefore range on my backswing. What I'm then looking to do is hold the club with the glove hand over, and that helps me hook the ball a bit, and that compensates for me aiming to the right of target. It allows me to hook the ball a bit to create more energy. We know from using TrackMan that a ball which goes, in fact, one of the videos I've got on my channel, it says fade and you'll fade away. And I show you that I lose 25 yards of distance with the same swing speed when I hit a fade compared to a draw. So we're trying to get the ball to move left all the time. So as I position myself here, I've given myself space to swing into, and that bend in the left arm is absolutely key. It's a lever. Levers multiply power. All I'm doing there is slapping from my elbow. If I slap from my elbow and my shoulder and my wrist, I've got triple levers there. 1, 2, 3. So the bend in the left arm, the glove arm, is absolutely key for generating a longer swing. And just to show you in the recap, Martin. Here's a great picture of Tom Watson with that bend in the left elbow. So the bend in the left elbow is key for this. We're trying to get the swing to be long as we age, because naturally it shortens. And if you look at the sort of the very, very, very short swings, which just go back to here when people are extremely stiff, you can see there's no power there because there's no energy build-up. If I've got softness in my wrist, I've talked about earlier, that club moves with energy. Alrighty, I can feel the wind now. It's probably correcting the way on your screens at home. Move around this way. Okay, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'm very sorry about the lost connection today. If you have any questions, time for a coffee, you're quite right. If you have any questions, give me a shout via email about anything we've talked about, or if you want any of the pictures sent along to you, richard.harrison@roehamptonclub.co.uk, and then you can see exactly what I've been talking about today. So I wish you all well. I hope you can do a bit of practice of what we talked about today. Just do a few rehearsals, look in the mirror, have a look at your swing, and have a look what a long swing looks like. Get the club over your shoulder. See how that feels. See if it does feel like you've got a bit more energy and speed in the swing. Remember, a long swing is what creates power. Thanks, Gene. I'll see you swinging tennis sometime. Well, listen, God bless you all. I hope you're still keeping healthy and safe and chatting to each other. Anytime you want to chat with me, send me an email. You know where I am. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. All the best. It's a shame.